After 18 infamous gang leaders of Wicked Valley stumble upon me, they adopt me and work hard in raising me. Since my dads refuse to let me get in contact with all males while showing their violent sides to everyone else all day, I run away from home out of anger. I've left home for 3 years so far. Throughout the years, I've gotten into a passionate relationship. But on the night my boyfriend, Vincent Gray, proposes to me, he has the nerve to lace my red wine with drugs. Then, he ties me up and delivers me back to Wicked Valley. The 18 bosses of Wicked Valley have posted a lucrative bounty on a young woman with a phoenix tattoo on her arm. It so happens that you have it. My younger sister, Wendy Gray, has offended someone out there. Only by giving you to those bosses can Wendy's life be spared. Then, Vincent adds sorrowfully, "Don't worry, Noelle. I'll definitely include you in my family tree once you're dead. I'll make sure that you won't die without a family." As I stare at Vincent's phony expression, deep down, I'm elated. It's been 3 years. Finally, someone is taking me home. While faced with Vincent's shocked look, I smile while snapping my fingers at the group of people who are about to pick me up. "What are you waiting for, everyone? Prepare some seasonings. We're eating good tonight. Let's have lamb soup." As soon as the words were out of my mouth, Vincent Gray clamped a hand around my throat and smashed me hard against the car door. He roared, "Noelle, are you out of your mind?" My back hit the metal with a sickening thud, and it felt like all my organs had shifted out of place. Before I could say a word, he turned and gave a fawning smile to the low-level thugs hanging around the perimeter. He said, "Gentlemen, don't mind her. She's hysterical and talking nonsense. I'll take her in right now." With that, he shoved me back into the cramped trunk. The drug he'd slipped me was still in full effect. My arms and legs felt like they were filled with lead. From the front seat, his sister Wendy Gray's syrupy, venom-laced voice floated back. "Vincent, will those psychos from Wicked Valley really let me go once you hand Noelle over?" Vincent slammed his foot on the gas and reassured her in a soft tone. "Relax. The 18 kings of Wicked Valley have put out the highest bounty for a woman with a phoenix tattoo. Noelle just so happens to have a fake one. As long as we give her to them, it'll quell Mr. Shaw's rage, and your life will be spared." Fake? I looked at the vivid, blood-red phoenix on my right arm and couldn't help but laugh. It had been personally inked on me by the boss of Wicked Valley, Terrence Shaw, who was also Big Dad to me. Seeing the tattoo was equivalent to seeing Big Dad himself. Yet Vincent, the idiot that he was, actually thought it was a knockoff. My 18 dads probably never dreamed that Vincent and Wendy would personally deliver me right to their doorstep after searching for me for 3 years and turning up nothing. Vincent heard my laughter and assumed I was scared out of my mind. He sighed, then said, "Noelle, I've fed you and sheltered you for 3 years. I've never done you wrong or given you any grief. Now that Wendy's in trouble, it's time for you to repay me. You're trading your cheap life for the peace of the Gray family. You should be honored." I actually laughed again, this time from sheer anger. 3 years ago, Vincent's company had gone bankrupt, and his enemies had come for his life. I'd taken 3 stabs for him and carried him on my back for 6 miles in a torrential downpour. He'd kneeled outside the emergency room and sworn that he'd cherish me with his life. He'd vowed that he'd never let me suffer even the slightest grievance. But now, just because Wendy had caused trouble, he hadn't hesitated to spike my drink with a heavy dose of sedatives. He'd packed me up like a pig headed for slaughter and delivered me as a sacrificial substitute. The SUV jerked to a sudden stop. The door was yanked open, and the harsh glare of a searchlight made me squint. Wendy looked down at me imperiously. She yanked me out of the trunk, making me fall to the ground. Then, she brought the heel of her sharp stiletto down hard on my shin bone and ground it. Pain shot through me like a white-hot blade, but I clenched my jaw and refused to make a sound. "Don't blame me for this, Noelle. Blame yourself for being lowborn." Her eyes were full of vicious glee. "Once those lunatics are done torturing you to death, I'll make sure Vincent gives you a proper burial." I looked at the feigned innocence on her face and found I didn't want to waste time getting angry at her. She and Vincent wanted to trade me in for Wicked Valley's protection, huh? 5 years ago, some suicidal drug lord had the nerve to yank out a single strand of my— Big Dad had single-handedly wiped out the guy's entire base. Second Dad had broken every bone in his body and fed them to the dogs. Sixth Dad had strung up his entire extended family at the entrance of the valley and left them there to dry in the wind. My 18 lawless dads would whip out their